Welcome to another video from Trader Stream. Guys, today we'll be talking about crude oil. We'll be talking about how we can go ahead and trade on crude in India without any hassle, and what type of tools and analysis that we need to do if we are if we are trading on the crude oil. Now in India you cannot trade on the cash market. Now we have the crude futures available on the MCX exchange, which is available with various brokers. So I typically use brokers like Fire, Zerodha and so on. So if you are someone who wants to trade on crude, you will execute the trade on these brokers and you will execute the trade on MCX. Now how is it different, and what is that you need to keep in mind when you are trading on crude oil? Unlike stocks, it is really different because commodities move in a different tandem. The commodity prices are connected from international prices because these commodities are traded in different exchanges across the world. So it is just not MCX. MCX is the exchange for us to trade on crude in India, but commodities exchanges, commodity scripts are available across different exchanges in the world. So it is traded 24 hours, 5 days a week, and it does not close. So crude also falls into that category, where in the international market it is traded 5 days and it is open 24 hours, unlike our MCX exchange, which closes in the by 11:30 at night. So that's not how it works in the international market. So what are the things that you need to keep in mind when you are trading crude futures in India? Now the crude is it is not volatile every day, but there are some of the things that you need to keep in mind while you are trading on crude futures. The first and foremost thing you need to keep in mind is the analysis that you will do on the charts for the crude would not be specifically on the MCX charts. Of course you can use the MCX charts, but you would also want to include the international market prices chart, and you want to analyze the prices on how the crude is performing on different exchanges. So three of the best crude oil prices that I personally use to analyze is WTI crude in the US market, UK oil, and we also go ahead and analyze the Brent crude prices. Now these are the three different types of crude prices that we will analyze to execute the order in our local exchange. So if you can actually see the chart types here, the WTI, UK oil and the Brent crude, and it is on a 60 minutes chart that I have plotted in a 3 different multi-layer windows. You can see the charts are very identical. If you can see the fall here and then the rise, the fall here, then the rise, the fall here, then the rise, and then you also see our MCX charts. So let me just go ahead and put the 1 hour. You can see the fall and the rise here. So there is a pattern repetition which happens on the crude oil. So this gives us the ample opportunity to trade in crude. The better way to trade would be to analyze these prices on the international market. Now a few of the things that you need to remember when you're trading on the crude is we would have the inventory results from the US market. It is done on the 5 p.m. Wednesday every week. So what we would typically do is we would avoid trading crude on the 8 p.m. I'm sorry, it's on the 8 p.m. not on the 5 p.m. On the 8 p.m. we will avoid trading on 8 p.m. Wednesday is the time we would avoid trading on the crude, because it's an inventory day. We get to know the inventory result from the US markets on what is the inventory reserve that the US government is holding, because that also makes changes in the pricing. And you would also look at for the news which is from the OPEC countries. Now OPEC countries are the oil producing countries, which you would keep in mind if you would find any news, because crude makes the movement based on how the international market and based on how countries are performing, based on the war, based on the crude prices, and a lot of other aspects. So crude, if you are trading on the crude, you need to keep this in mind if you're a fundamental trader. But if you're a technical trader, you don't need to crack your head on all these things as long as you're good at chart analysis. Now, what we would do on the crude is we normally trade on the crude on the demand and supply zone itself. So what we do is we mark our demand and supply zone on the WTI, Brent and UK oil. So this is where we mark the zones, and then what we do is we execute the orders on the MCX exchange on the different brokers that we have. So let me give you a quick example. If you can look at this analysis that we have done. So normally what happens is all the prices move in tandem. The Brent, WTI and the UK oil and the MCX all move in the same direction. So if you can actually see here the 4 pattern that we have, the Brent reacted, the same chart pattern you see on the WTI, the same chart pattern you see on the UK oil, the same pattern you see on the MCX. So this has been the standard. So if you can see at the buy zones as well, you see the Brent crude price, the US WTI, UK oil and the MCX. So it's like you're getting a clue. If you want to enter a trade on the MCX on a local exchange, you might want to analyze the price in the WTI, UK and Brent crude. So we'll be talking about how to find out zones on the crude and what aspects that how you can find out on the zones. And if you are someone who would want to get instant update on our videos and demand and supply zones on the different stocks and commodities, we have a Telegram channel. You can follow our Telegram channel. I will provide the link to our Telegram channel in the description box. Follow our Telegram channel. You would have a live update on the demand and supply zone on the various stocks and commodities, which you can go ahead and analyze by yourself. So this is about the crude oil trading strategy that we are talking about. So this is Mohsin signing off from TraderStream, and have a nice day.